G'day, this is Mr. Thompson and we are building a glider like this. And this particular video we're going to talk about how to design this little bracket that goes underneath the glider there, or on top of the fuselage but underneath the wings. And this bracket holds the wings on and also gives the wings the correct dihedral. We're going to use Fusion to make a bracket that we can 3D print. Now, before we get started, you should already have done a little bit of design work and you should know what dihedral angle you're going to use, and you should know the chord length of your wing, the length of the wing from front to back. This is the sort of thing we're going to build, something that looks a little bit like that. Okay, I'm just going to close that because we're going to build it from scratch. Okay, so we've got our blank document. Let's get started. I'm going to create a sketch. Now, when I click on these buttons up here, you might find if your screen is not as big as mine, you might find that you don't have all of these buttons. But these buttons here, you will also find them under this menu. Okay, so if I click on a button up here and you can't find you can't see that button, try the menu there, like the create or the modify or the assemble. Try those menus underneath and you'll find a whole lot more options there. Okay, so it depends how big your screen is as to how many buttons it displays. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to create a sketch. So we could do create sketch there, or we can do create sketch there. Don't care. Let's do that one. And it's going to ask us which plane do we want to create our sketch on. So I'm going to use this front plane here. So if I click on that front plane there, I'm going to zoom in. Now I'm using a mouse with a wheel on it. I highly recommend you get one if you don't have one. Of course, to zoom in and zoom out, you can use your trackpad. You can sort of pinch or stretch with your fingers on your trackpad to zoom in and zoom out. But using Fusion or any CAD is a whole lot easier if you've got a mouse with a wheel on it. So get yourself one of those. All right, we're going to create a rectangle. So I can either click on this button up here or find it in the create menu, or I can just use R on the keyboard. So I'm using the letter R on the keyboard to create a rectangle, and I want a rectangle, I want a center rectangle. So I'm going to come over here and click on center rectangle, and I'm going to click on the origin. Now I want a rectangle that's, I want to draw the bit of wood, the fuselage that I'm using for a bit of wood. Now my fuselage that I've measured I've measured it and it's 6.6 millimeters high, and then tab, and then 3.3 millimeters wide. So I just tabbed to get to each of those, and then I'm going to press enter, and there we have the cross section of the fuselage. So that's like the fuselage if we're looking from front to back, looking at it front on. All right, so I guess what I want to do, I want to make a bracket that fits around that fuselage. So I'm going to use this tool here, which is the offset tool. So I'm going to click on that, and if you can't see it there, you'll find it under modify, offset, or you can just use the letter O on your keyboard. So there we go, offset. Now I want to get rid of chain selection because I just want to select three sides, that side, and that side. So I'm going to select all of those three. Now you can see if I put in 1 millimeter, see how that's put an offset inside. I actually want the offset to be outside, so I can pull it with my arrow there like that. But I'm actually going to type in, a distance. I'm going to go minus 1.2. Now, sometimes you have to put minus and sometimes you've got to put a positive number. I'm not sure how Fusion makes up its mind, which direction it's going to create an offset. So just do what works to create an outline outside your fuselage like that. Okay, we're going to click OK there. Now, I guess I'm going to do L for line, L on my keyboard for line, and I'm going to draw a line from that all the way across to there, like that, and then press escape. Now, that line there, let me just scroll in, that line's blue, which means it's not fully constrained. So I'm just going to grab that line and move, see, it said I can move that line, which is not really what I want. I want that line to line up with that line there. So I'm going to use a constraint. And the constraint I'm going to use is a collinear constraint. Collinear means two lines have got to be on top of each other. So I'm going to say that line there, which has already been clicked, and then I'll click on that line there, and see now it's lined them up. And it's also now that the line's gone black instead of blue, which means it's fully constrained, which is good practice to constrain everything. So now you can see my mouse, my cursor is still doing that constraint action. So I'm going to escape. So sometimes I like to escape a few times to make sure I'm not in any particular context. Now I'm just back to my normal cursor. All right, so we've got that bracket that goes around the wood. Now we need to create the bits for the wings. So I'm going to do L for line again, L for line on my keyboard, and I'm going to click here and then click out here. Now I find, see, we can have a distance and an angle here. So I found a distance of about 15 millimeters is pretty good. And then tab, and I said my dihedral angle is 12 degrees. Now you do whatever dihedral angle you decided to do, okay? But I'm doing 12 degrees. So enter like that. Now I want another line on top of that one. So I guess I'll do another offset. So if I click on offset here, and that's the line I want to offset. This time it's in the right direction, like that. So that's in the correct direction. And again, I want 1.2. I'm using 1.2 because I think that's thick enough to be strong enough for what we need, but it's still thin enough to be light. So that works for me. Okay, now let's see what else. I want to put another line over here because you can see if let me just move this. I'm going to move that dimension down to here. And you can see, and I'll move this dimension down to here just so we can see what's going on. So there's my two lines. So I need to create, I need to join those dots there. So L for line again. I'm going to click on that dot there and that point and that point like that. And actually, I'm not going to join those ones yet. I'm going to go escape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do modify extend. So I want this line here to be extended further to the left. So modify extend, and then I'm going to click right on this edge of the line, and you see it's extended a little bit, but it hasn't extended as much as I want. I'm going to extend it again, so I'm going to click on it again. Now, actually that was hard to see because this was in the way. Let me pull that out of the way. So now can you see that line's extended all the way to here? I just needed to make sure it was extended past that center line, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay. All right, now I want to do the same thing as I did there on the other side. I want an exact mirror image. Now let's see, I'm going to put a center line so that I can mirror that. So if I do L for line again and click on that origin there and click up here, doesn't matter how far, but as long as I click on top of, so long as I keep it completely vertical like that, and then press escape. Now actually I'm going to click on that line here and I'm going to turn it into a center line by coming over here. Yeah, now it's a center line. Can you see it's got that center line sort of characteristic? We didn't actually have to make it a center line. We can use any line for a center line, but it's nice if you're going to have a line for a center line that you make it look like a center line. All right, we're going to do a mirror. So create, let's see, mirror like that. And I'm going to select that line, and that line. And you can see it's created a mirror. In fact, because, now this is cool, usually you have to select a mirror line, but because I already had my line here formatted at a center line, it's already assumed that I'm going to use that center line as a mirror line, so I don't even have to select that line. That's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to click OK, and there we go. So I think that's ready to extrude. So what I'm going to do now is I could finish the sketch and then extrude, but I don't have to do that in Fusion. I can just press E for extrude, and I can select that section there, that section there, that section there, that section there. That's all. I don't want to select that bit in the middle there. And if these lines have come all the way across here, you might have to actually select those bits in the middle there as well, but I don't have to. All right, we want to create a new body. That's good. We've just got to tell it how far. Now, I like to just use my view cube there and scroll a bit so I can see. Actually, let me press the home button so I can see what I'm doing when I'm extruding. So I guess I'm going to extrude back this way like that. So by grabbing that arrow, I can move it back. Now, I did say you need to know how the chord length of your wing. So let's say I was going to use maybe a 90 millimeter, that's 9 centimeters. if I typed 90, or I could type it there, or I could type it there, or I could drag the arrow until I get exactly 90. There's a few ways of doing it. Then that gives me my extrusion. So I'm going to click OK. And you know what? We're done. So let's just save that. And we'll call that a 90mm 12-degree wing mount. What if we do that? Call it something, whatever you decide to call it. Save. Now, of course, the next thing you need to do is we need to take this to the 3D printer. So the way we're going to do that in Fusion, if we come over here to Utilities and then click on this 3D print icon like that. Now I've got Bamboo Studio installed on my computer, so I can just use print utility. But if you're at school and you need to go to another, you need to take your STL file to another computer. What you'll do, come down here is you'll go Export and select that object there. STL binary is the right format, and unit type millimeter, that's all good. I'm not going to worry about those settings. Click OK. Now give it a name. So in fact, if you're in the classroom, you're going to have a lot of people who are all going to do similar things. Put your name on the STL file. So Mr. T for me, wing mount. So I'm going to give it a name that so I know it's mine and I know what it is. I want an STL file. I want to save it to my computer. So make sure that's clicked. And in fact, what you'll do is you'll click on here, and instead of saving it, actually I haven't got a. You're going to save it to the D drive or whatever your USB drive is. So you put your USB stick in your computer. Find your USB stick down here, wherever that is, and then it'll be the D drive or the E drive. Click Save, and away you go. I don't need to do that. Cancel like that. All right. And then you can take it across to the computer that's got the slicer for the 3D printer, and we can print your wing mount. Okay, hope that was helpful.